Warning, heavy spoilers for chapter 139. You have been warned. Do not watch this, or listen to this if you are a season 4 anime only watcher. You have been warned. Yo, what's good today? Me and Abbas are going to talk about the final chapter of Attack on Titan. It's finally come to an end. After all this time, it's done, it's ended. How you doing, man?
Yeah, I'm doing fine. How about you?
Yeah, not too bad at all. Yeah,
I was watching I was watching your episode 1 Yu-Gi-Oh reaction, right?
yeah.
And like the last 2 minutes just had me dying. just had me dying.
What did I say? I forgot.
Listen, the first 5 episodes are cheesy in it because the show is finding its foot, right? In the show, it's just finding its legs, and it will get there eventually.
Okay.
And then it'll start making sense of why there's an edgy guy in there strapped in.
Did I say that? I completely forgot.
Yeah, you were rinsing it in the last 2 minutes.
I literally forgot. I completely forgot. Yeah, it was. It's not a bad show, but it is what it is.
Yeah. Oh, I remember we were talking about shows that are out of date, right? Like for you, it was Beyblade, right? Like
Yeah.
at one time you thought it was good, and then you watched it again, and it's not that good.
Yeah, the original
And I had
series.
one in my head as well. And I couldn't think of it, but I
Okay.
remembered it now.
What is it?
It's Digimon.
Oh, I remember that show. Yeah.
It's because I look at the character models now, and they look like kids. It's
yeah.
like that's not what I remembered when I was a kid.
It's because when you're a kid, you see kids as like, you don't see them as kids.
Yeah.
But when you're
It's
older,
like,
now
I don't remember him being this tiny. And
Yeah.
But yeah.
Exactly. It's part of growing up.
Yep.
But do you want to get into the interesting topic, which is Attack on Titan chapter
Bro,
139?
listen. You're gonna have to I'm just gonna sit on the passenger seat here, man, because I am still confused. Because I've got my own theories, but that all goes out the window when Eren says, "I don't know what I was doing." It's like what?
Okay, so I'll just give my sort of brief thoughts and opinions of the chapter. So when I first read it, I read the raw spoilers, but they were kind of unreleased. Yeah, like it was kind of like these very raw spoilers. So like some like pages were missing, so it was kind of like a bit, out of order. It kind of started off with Historia hugging the child, and then it cut to Armin, and then Eren in the past realm, and then it kept cutting to the future. Then it kept cutting to
Those
the
are out
past.
of dates. Those are like rearranged and such.
Yeah. So it started with Historia hugging her child, and then it cut to Armin talking to Eren, and then the next page was of Jean and Reiner on the boat, and then it cut back to Armin and Eren in the past world.
Yikes.
So
Yikes.
it was a bit like, what was going on? So I was kind of like, oof. But then when the official release came out like 2 days ago, yesterday, it made
the
more sense.
official.
Yeah, the new official.
Okay, I don't think I've read the official version then.
The official version is, it's much better. Like the words are much better. Like it makes more sense. Like what Eren is talking about. Like
he keep marching forward. That's the line that a lot of Jaegerists keep like IRL.
Yeah.
Jaegerists like keep mentioning.
Yeah, exactly, man. Exactly.
Yeah, he's going to move forward and wipe out all of humanity and stuff. So yeah, it still seems like Eren was never in control to begin with, and he was just putting on a facade.
Yeah, he kind of put on a facade, like was just pretending he knew more. Yeah. I mean, he did know the future.
Did you ever buy it? Did you ever buy Badass Eren?
I don't know, to be honest with you.
Like this.
Yeah. Low. Nah, I actually did. I did at first.
Do you know when it fell apart from me? Is when everyone was in the path speaking to Eren. When they were on that plane.
Oh yeah.
And then Eren is telling them, "I'll let you do anything, whatever." Like he's giving them the ability to use their powers or whatnot. And it's like, okay, Eren probably wants them to win or some shit. Because if he wanted to carry out his mission, he would never have done that.
He would have taken the power a long time ago,
Yeah.
Yep. But he didn't.
All right, let's get into the podcast. Let's start it.
Okay.
Yeah, there are still some copiums that want to chapter 140.
Nah, it's not happening. It says the final chapter.
It's not happening.
It's not happening.
Yeah.
It says final chapter, so it's the end.
Or they could get a
So
prologue. Who knows?
I think this is more like the epilogue, to be honest with you.
Oh, sorry, epilogue, not prologue.
I think the last
Yeah,
chapter 138 was the last chapter, and this is more or less the epilogue chapter in a way.
yeah, true.
But so thoughts and opinions on this chapter. So as I said before, I'm not gonna lie, dude. I kind of hated the chapter the first time I read it. I didn't like anything that was happening in it, especially the time skip stuff. I really didn't like it. But then after rereading it, I started to like the Eren and Armin scene in the past world a lot more. And I think Eren's sort of like character arc and his end was very satisfying to read. It was unsatisfying but satisfying at the same time. So that was sort of my take on it. And yeah, but I still am not too much of a fan of the time skip stuff. I mean, it does make sense in like what's been happening, but I don't know, it was a bit too fairy tale-ish, a bit too happy.
80% of people are dead, mate. Happy. What do you mean?
Nah, for me, it was like the alliance, I kind of thought it was going to be a bit more like I thought more people were going to die in the alliance. It just seemed a little bit.
See, this is where the confusion comes in, right? Oh, because I was reading the unofficial translation, and in that it seemed like it could go either way. Like if Eren wins, he wins, but if the alliance wins, they win, or whatnot. 'Cause that's
Yeah,
how it was worded, right? But
yeah,
here it's like, nah, you only kept moving forward for Mikasa, so he was always going to lose.
hmm like it did say
So
that
that just
he saw the future and he saw like Mikasa making the choice or something like that. And I don't know why Ymira picked Mikasa, to be honest with you. It's
well, Mikasa is like Ymir, basically,
mm,
if you think about it.
what? So you thought Ymira saw herself in Mikasa in a way?
Yeah,
That's why she picked her. Okay, fair enough. I guess that's
because
probably
like
why. I guess when you, I guess the more I think about it, it
it's
kind of
still
makes
weird. It comes out of nowhere, to be honest with you.
it
But
does
it's
make more
still
sense in
it's
terms of like
like
why Mikasa's always protecting Eren. It's in a way like Ymira's sort of manipulating her to protect Eren so he can do. I don't
well,
know.
it's not that. It's basically Ymir was she was always in love with that guy, right?
Yeah, Carl Fritz.
And she couldn't break free of it. Even 2,000 years later, she still couldn't break free of that person who abused her, right?
Yeah,
And when she sees Mikasa break free of that tie with Eren,
yeah.
that's when she was free,
Mm-hmm.
if that makes sense.
Yeah. I guess because Mikasa is kind of
And
tied
that's
to
what
Eren
killed.
in a way, so yeah, I guess it kind of leads back to like how Ymira sees
But
herself
it's
in
poorly
Mikasa.
explained, to be honest with you.
Yeah, yeah, I wouldn't disagree there. It was a little bit like
Because like,
what?
if for like Ymir basically existed just to make Titans, right?
Mm-hmm.
And she's like trapped in this bond or whatever.
Yeah,
And then she sees somebody like Mikasa who's also trapped in that kind of bond thing.
yeah,
She sees her break free,
yeah, pretty
and then
much.
she could do the same if that makes sense.
Yeah, and I think Eren saw this in the
And that's
future
why she was
memories.
smiling in the last chapter.
Yeah, because she was like, "Oh, finally, because Mikasa's always
Yeah,
sort of been a slave in a way,
yeah.
and yeah, I guess she just sees herself in Mikasa in a way. But what did you
Yep.
think of the chapter? What was your overall, reaction?
I was satisfied, but I wasn't angry like those
Oh
redditors. I
my,
don't know if you've seen the
not
memes.
just, oh my gosh, not just Redditors, like Twitter, YouTubers, I think the Redditors are a little bit more tame. There's so many people saying this is like the worst ending ever. It's worse than Game of Thrones. It's worse
Nah,
than,
that's a
yeah.
reach. That's a stretch.
I've seen so many of them like complain about it.
Thing is, like like as soon as we started this podcast, the official release just came out, right? Not just came out, but I didn't read it. So I'm going based off the unofficial translation, right?
Okay.
And in my head, this is what was going on, right?
Okay.
If Eren didn't invade Mali,
Yeah.
sooner or later they would have invaded Paradise, right?
Yeah.
And that's
That's
what you saw.
exactly what was going to happen. Yeah.
So if he's just sat there and did nothing, they would have lost, and the people he cares about would have died or whatever.
Yeah, that's what he said to Mikasa last chapter.
And then when he did invade, he did it just to get Zeke out, right?
Yeah, he did it to
To
steal
start
the
rumbling.
Warhammer Titan, to kill all the Marleyan soldiers. He
No,
basically
the whole plan was just to get Zeke out of there, wasn't it?
no, like he did say that.
Make him look like he was captured.
Yeah, but also just to like kind of cripple Marley's sort of like military unit.
Oh yeah, as well
Like
as that.
he kind of forced the Survey Corps into coming because they didn't want to go, but they knew that. I think that was like another option they probably had. So when Eren did what he did, they were like, "Oh well, we have no choice but to just kind of go all out," you know. So in a way, he kind of forced Armor to blow up the military port, to kill all those
Oh,
Malian
right,
naval
right.
ships. He made
And
the
make
Survey
sure they
Corps,
don't like unify. They don't like
yeah,
unify with the allied
because
nations
his
or whatnot.
plan was to like kill all the Malian soldiers, and he
Yeah,
made
cripple
all the
them
Survey
now and
Corps.
then like start rumbling.
And then he was
Because I
like,
thought his
yeah,
plan was always to like do enough damage where they can't retaliate or
retaliate.
whatnot.
Yeah, that's exactly what he wanted. Yeah, but also to also
And
steal the
now
Warhammer
what
Titan.
and well yeah, but that's kind of irrelevant to be honest. The Warhammer
Yeah,
Titan is like it's
I
not even
think it.
part of the story. To be honest
Yeah,
with you,
it was
it's
mainly.
like as soon as he like
Yeah,
beats the Warhammer Titan, that whole subplot has never been brought up again.
yeah, that is true to be honest. But I think it was just mainly. I think it was used so that he can kind of escape the prison because he used it to break out of jail without like causing too much damage. Because
Off screen.
if he transformed into the attack titan like fully, he would have probably blown the building he was in. But he using the Warhammer Titan, he was able to like escape without causing too much damage in a way.
Yeah, but that was all off screen and it just didn't really
Yeah,
matter because we didn't even see it.
we didn't see it.
You know, for all we knew, like somebody just broke him out of jail. Who
Hmm.
knows?
Yeah, we'll never know that.
That wasn't even explained.
Hmm. Yeah, a lot of things weren't really
But yeah, the
explained.
whole so I haven't even finished what what my thoughts were
Oh yeah, go on. Yeah,
because we just went off a tangent to the Warhammer Titan.
yeah, go on.
So I because it still is weird to be honest with you, but
Hmm.
him wiping out 80% and not going full force. I think he just did it just to keep those two people alive. Because if he did wipe out everyone,
Yeah.
then I don't think Mikasa and Armin would have survived. Whatever.
Hmm. I don't know. I don't know.
Like
Like,
probably suicided or whatnot. Can't live with Eren's actions or some shit.
I
Because
mean,
that's what
he's
everyone wanted, right? He wanted everyone wanted Eren to do like a full reset or something.
yeah. He wanted him to like wipe everything
And
out. You know.
but I think what happened was that plan of doing the partial rumbling.
Yeah.
He kind of went like extreme with it.
Hmm.
It's like forget doing the rumbling every now and then. Let's just do like a full one, extreme one, where they can't even retaliate for like
Yeah.
probably hundreds of years.
But I mean, he still kept a lot of
And now,
like people alive outside. So it almost. I don't know. It just feels like he's kind of doomed Paradise Island. He's taking their powers, the Titan powers, so they can't defend themselves properly. And
no, but in the same chapter, those people who stopped Eren are seen as like the ambassadors for the
oh
Allied
yeah, that is
nations.
true. Actually, yeah, yeah. I kind of forgot about that bit as well.
So they're not doomed. They have like
Mm.
peace talks and everything.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think that makes more sense to be honest with you. Like, yeah,
But no, but then that would make sense. But then you hear Eren says he doesn't know why he did it.
he just says that he just had a feeling that he needed to do it. He just
Yeah, he
did it
did
on the.
it like for the vibes.
He just did it on a whim, you know. Like,
Like so that's just my headcanon, but yeah, it's like he just went with the flow. Like that's what
pretty
I don't
much.
understand. Like there's no explanation from it.
I think Aaron was being truthful, like when he said that he hated the fact that humanity lived outside of the walls. You know, like he was disappointed and he wanted to kill all those animals, and he did that. But at the same time, I think he wanted to make Mikasa and Armin like the saviors of the world, and for the rest of humanity living outside the walls to see them as these heroes. So,
Well, I mean, like back in season 1, right?
mhm.
His objective was to save them, right? and
Yeah.
like stop the cycle, or whatever.
Hmm.
Stop
Yeah.
history from repeating itself. And I think he did that.
Yeah, he did.
And if that was his plan from all along, then the story makes sense.
Hmm. He
But
did
Aaron
what
says, I don't know why he did it.
he just said. I don't know why I did it. I just wanted to do it. He just had
That
a
was in
need.
the unofficial translation, but I don't know if it's changed or whatever.
I think it's more or less the same in the
The
official one. He
official.
does say that he
Oh
he wasn't
god.
too sure why he did it, but he just had to do it. Essentially,
Oh no.
yeah. But I guess it does make sense with Aaron's character. At the end of the day, he does have a heart. He is doing this to protect Mikasa and
Yeah,
Armin.
he wasn't an edgelord
Yeah.
that people want him to be.
I think he still was. I mean, he's still the villain at the end of the day. He killed people. He knew he could have not done it. No one forced him to do it.
Not to. No, I mean he's a villain to the. Basically, he did a Lelouch in it.
Yeah, in a way.
So the people that knew him wasn't the villain, but the
I still
people
think
who
he's.
didn't know him.
I still think what he did was way worse than Lelouch. To be honest with you,
Oh
mean,
yeah, 10 times.
it's like
10
a billion
times,
times
bro.
worse. I still think he's
Yeah,
way more of a villain than Lelouch was.
but that was necessary though, right? To make the Titan warriors to be the heroes, right?
Yeah. By the end of
And
the day,
now they've been used as the ambassadors for peace talks or
pretty
whatever.
much, yeah. But still,
So that worked.
killing all those.
And now they can't
idiots.
they can't retaliate, right?
Yeah, that's true. The world
At
is just
least
completely
100 years.
crippled.
But and even if they did retaliate, they know they owe it to those people that stopped Eren.
Exactly.
So what's the point of retaliating when that guy the main threat is dead or whatever?
Yeah, man. I was expecting his story to have more of a role in this chapter, to be honest with you, but
Oh
she
yeah,
doesn't even
that
talk
that's
at all.
the farmer as well. Okay,
Yeah.
do you know whenever we got scenes of Historia, right,
Yeah.
and the tease of the baby or whatnot.
Yeah.
Not once did I think that's she's with Eren or whatever.
I
Why
actually
did
did.
everyone have that opinion?
Because in chapter 131, he does say to Zeke that, what do you think if I had a child? And then we have a shot of Historia, so it looked like,
He
he did.
debated. Oh, Isayama debated everyone.
It just, yeah. We didn't know who he was talking to in that shot. He just said, what do you think of me having a child? And then he looks at Historia, so, we don't really know if that was just kind of like him talking to Zeke in general.
I think
But
it was, but it was speaking to him in general. But Isayama just, I don't know, pulled a fast one.
I don't think, he did. Because if he did, he would mention it to Armin, but he didn't.
I mean, he did. He didn't need to put Historia did, right? He didn't
Nah.
need to tease the audience.
But he did. He did say in an interview that the reason why he likes doing this is because he wants to betray the audience in a way. He
Oh,
felt
he
like,
did that.
yeah.
80% of his fan base wants him dead. 80%. 80%. Wasn't wrong when he said that he wanted to when his fans cry, he wants to turn those tears into a sauna or whatever.
Yeah.
That's fucking hilarious. That's
He's a
so
sick
funny.
guy, yeah.
He warned everyone.
Yeah, he did. I mean, it is a bittersweet ending, to be honest with you, and damn. Damn. But I feel like,
What chapter was it where they said that Ymir had the power to rival the gods or whatever?
to rival the gods.
Do you remember that line?
No,
Rival him.
I
No?
don't.
Oh,
I
fuck.
do
Oh,
not.
I must have seen it from a review or whatever. But
No.
she kind of did, right?
I guess so. But we still don't really know what her power is at the end of the day. We don't know what that sort of
I mean, she's basically a developer, if you think about it.
I mean, we know she was an
She's a
ordinary.
programmer.
We know
She's
she's
a
an
programmer.
Yeah. We know she's an ordinary human who just kind of stumbled into a cave and then got this power by accident, but we don't know
By,
what that power is.
that
essentially.
insect or whatever.
That insect, yeah, that I don't know what it is, that leech thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's
It's got a name, but I don't even know.
I think this chapter is a pretty good end because it kind of fits the whole vibe of Attack on Titan where I remember the chapter when Gracious talking to Kruger saying, "What is the truth?" And then Kruger's like saying, "What is the truth? There is no truth. Like, there's just more truths in the truth, and like, no one really knows for sure. Like, we get the answers, but then it leaves more questions in a way.
Yeah. I would
And
like
that's
to see Isiama's response to like the backlash or whatever. Or if
yeah,
he ever like
there's a
responds.
huge backlash. Like, it's weird because it's kind of a polarizing backlash because there's a lot of people who do hate it, but then there are people who are very defensive and
I'm
they're
okay with
defending
it, to
him.
be honest with you. Like,
Yeah,
I didn't think everyone would do like the full reset thing, or like this is what look, this is what happens when you take anime to the extreme.
I know.
As soon as you start making your own fan fiction and you know your own like headcanon, your own like
Mm-hmm.
theories or whatnot, and then
Yeah,
you when you get something that you don't want, like
yeah.
why be upset? Why put yourself in that position to be upset?
I know. I mean, at the end of the day, it's fiction, and I like Attack on Titan, but I mean,
Yeah,
it's a fictional
like the
series, you know.
ending's bad,
Like,
but you don't have to like go overboard with it or whatever.
I think some people just, you know, fiction is just escapism, you know. Like, they just want to
Just put
live in
their
that.
lives into it.
Yeah, it's like I don't know. They don't have much going on in their ordinary lives. They just want to pour everything they have in these sort of like stories in a way. But then when the story isn't the way they wanted it to be, they just get angry and they feel like it's sort of an attack on them in a way.
They really wanted a that time loop theory or whatever.
Yeah, there was a time loop theory where like Eren would sort of kill everyone and then it would sort of reset and then just go on and on and on. You know, I kind of thought the ending was going to be a bit more like Eren kills like the Eldians on Paradise Island. He just goes crazy and just kills everyone, and then he kind of gets sent to this like sort of like weird world where he meets like the origins of like the people who made that sort of
But
like creature.
that would still betray his character then, to be
Yeah,
honest
I
with you,
know. In
if
my
he did
head,
that.
that was one of my sort of like theories of what was gonna happen.
I never thought he would do something like that because to me like through season one
Yeah,
that way like in his head he hears Grisha saying that you have to protect Mikasa and Armin, right?
yeah,
And then like we get it throughout the whole series. I have to protect Mikasa and Armin. Like how are you protecting them if you're gonna do something so extreme? I think this is the only way to do it because like we've seen it at Tiber's speech, right? That
yeah,
they're planning on like unifying everyone and then invade Paradise or whatever.
yeah.
And then that mission gets put on like hold because they got invaded. So what Eren did like makes sense to start rumbling or whatever, just to make Mikasa and Armin like the good guys or
The
whatever.
good guys, yeah, the heroes. Yeah, I feel
But
like
then
Aaron.
Eren says he doesn't know why he did it.
Yeah,
That's another problem I have. Like Eren says he doesn't know why he did it.
I think
So
he did say that to Armin that when he touched Soria's hand, like the past and the future kind of got a bit muddled up, and it kind of just was all one, and he just yeah, I think he just kind of went a bit mad when he had all his memories, you know. So I mean, he was 16 at the time, so you know you can't really fault him for
yeah,
that.
true.
Like he's not like he's not the smartest dude like in the pack, you know. He just knows how to fight and attack. That's it, you know.
He was very emotional as well.
Yeah,
A heart in his sleeve.
that's why he kind of put his emotions to bed. Otherwise, it would kind of like ruin the plan. And it kind of
Like
explains why he pushed Mikasa and Armin.
do you know even when we had that Edge Lord Eren or whatever, right?
Yeah,
We even had a panel of him crying to that little kid,
yeah,
saying he's sorry for what he's about to do.
yeah. This was before he attacked Marley. So
Yep,
this was kind of like him
because he's seen
coming
it
to the
already. He already
conclusion.
seen the
Yeah.
rumbling or whatever.
But the interesting thing with
And
that
that's
time,
still devastating, though. I think
yeah,
like people are still missing out the point that wiping out 80% of people
yeah,
is still devastating,
that's
even if you
millions
didn't
and
go full
millions.
force.
Yeah.
Because
That's why I think it's
you
kind of
know,
like bittersweet because it's like he did destroy a lot of people's like lives and all that, but at the same time he
yeah,
saved.
and that's what he was crying for. Like he didn't
Yeah,
really want to do it, but he had to do it to save those two people,
yeah.
Mikasa and Armin.
I don't know. I think he's kind of like split because he did say to Flotch that he wanted to kill all those animals, and like when he was talking to his story, he did have sort of like an anger towards humanity, and when he was talking to the kid, he did say that he was very disappointed with like how humanity was like outside the walls, you know. So I think he
I mean,
wanted it
I
to be
mean,
like a sort of
if I listen,
paradise.
if I was in his shoes, I would be as well, right? The
Mm,
whole world thinks paradise are a bunch of devils,
hmm. Yeah,
and they don't even know like how they're living. Like,
hmm.
who? Come on, I would be mad as well,
Yeah, I think when
and no one's
Armin,
doing anything for
yeah,
paradise as well.
that is true. But I think like when Armin first like talked to Aaron about like the book and like what's the other side of the ocean and all that lot, like I think in Aaron's head he thought it was gonna be some sort of paradise, like it was gonna be
Yeah,
freedom. But then when he realized that it was the exact same inside the walls, he was disappointed and he was like, ugh, I'm gonna have to
no,
destroy everything.
worse, because like
It
the
was
whole
way
world hates
worse.
them.
Yeah. And like the way people were treated in like
No one did
Mali.
anything to try and help them when they were
Yeah.
attacked by titans or whatever.
Hmm.
But just yeah,
No one helped. Everyone knew the truth, but no one helped. I think that's why Aaron had such a like a disappointment to the world. If people were trying to help him or like help parodies, then maybe there would have been another option, you know. But no one did. They knew what
hmm
parodies were, but they were like, let's forget about them.
hmm
So I can see why Aaron did that. It is tragic, you know, seeing this main character who had so much like light and hope in him just kind of take this like dark approach and like I did
yeah.
like Aaron's sort
I
of like
mean,
end.
let's say if there was like an alternate option to save like the people he was close to, what would you do?
Car. I would kind of go with Zeke's euthanization plan, to be honest with you. Like,
But then they would have still been invaded.
mm. But I think like
Like
his sort
if
of
they did like a partial rumbling, if they did a partial rumbling, they would have came back 10 years later or
I
whatever.
don't think there was a partial rumbling because do you remember the chapter when the rumbling was activated? There's like this speech bubble saying that once it starts, there's no stopping it. You know.
There's no. Oh
Yeah.
yeah,
So
of course.
I think
Okay.
there was no such thing as a partial rumbling. It was only a full scale rumbling. You know. So I think if Zeke's plan went ahead, so like it would just lead to, unless he stopped the rumbling, it would have just led to everyone being killed.
Who came up with the idea of a partial rumbling?
It was Zeke.
I think he didn't understand like the full force of that
Yeah,
rumbling. To
I
be
don't think
honest,
anyone did. Like only Aaron did. That's why
no,
he.
it was devastating.
Yeah, only Aaron did because
Did he
in
think he would start it and the Titans would go back to that position to like seal themselves?
I think. Do you remember the episode where the chapter like kind of in between season 3 and 4 when Zeke kind of proposes the plan to them, like when they send them the letters, and then Aaron's like, we can't rely on the rumbling, it's too dangerous, we have to see other options because he's the only one who knows the full scale of the rumbling, you know.
Wait, who said that? Who said that?
Aaron,
Oh, what season?
this season, the season 4, like it was after the time skip, it was before, it was like a couple of years before they invaded Mali, but it was after the ocean. It was like it was the same episode where
So Aaron himself is saying that it's too devastating.
it's too dangerous to use it, they can't gamble on it. It was the episode where
And
Mikasa
Aaron
showed the
and at that
family
point, Aaron has
crescent.
already seen the future.
Yeah, because it's a year after he kissed Astoria's hand.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he knows what's going to happen, but he's like trying to see other options because he knows looking at the
And
partial
there
rumbling,
is no
there's
other
no option.
options.
Yeah,
There is no other option. Even if you did that euthanization plan, cool.
yeah,
That doesn't stop the fact of them being invaded by an allied army.
yeah. And then when Hanji and Levi went up to the scouts during the railway episode, saying that
Yeah.
the Azumabita clan isn't cooperating and they have no choice but to go with Zeke's plan. You see there's a shot of Aaron and he has his like really like devastated look on his face because he knows that if they go with the rumbling then that's it, you know, it's a full scale rumbling.
And that makes the train scene make more sense now when he's
Yeah.
in the carriage or whatever and he's
Yeah, yeah.
speaking to those people.
Yeah. And then after the train scene we basically have Aaron meet up with Liena, and then we have the chapter where he confronts Flutch saying he's gonna destroy the world because he knows that there's no such thing as a partial rumbling, there's only a full scale rumbling, and he's seen himself do it. And yeah,
And at this point, Aaron is cheating, right? Because he's seen the future.
yeah,
So he's choosing the path that will give him like the best like
I think he's using
statistic
the
to like
quickest like
achieve
extreme
his goal.
way to kind of save his people in a way. Like what's the best and fastest way to kind of like solve this problem, do the rumbling and just go all out.
Make himself to
Yeah.
be the big bad. and
because
how
I
the
mean,
like his friends kill him or
yeah,
whatever.
because the scouts spent like 3 years just trying to find other options and they failed. And Aaron only did the rumbling in like what? It took a couple of like weeks, months to prepare it, and you know,
Well, yeah, he needed Zeke,
he
right?
needed Zeke, he needed his trust, um he
But
needed a lot of things. Like
I
he
like
had
how
to,
we
yeah.
I like how we're talking about this, but then it goes back to Aaron says he doesn't know why he did it.
I think he's talking about. I'm gonna have a quick read on that bit. Do, 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 do.
Because this all makes sense, right? If you think about it, because like
Yeah.
what other option was there? The option of wiping out his own race in a couple
Mm-hmm.
of years because they can't like have any children, whatever.
Yeah.
And then there was another trash option.
I like how Ymir is still kind of mysterious because there's this panel where Aaron is like, Armin is telling Aaron, why did Ymir pick Mikasa? And he's like, well, only Ymir knows that. And I just like how Ymir is still kind of mysterious, you know, like,
Yeah,
I don't know,
I think the
it's
theory of
interesting.
her being because she's very similar to Mikasa in it, like they're trapped in that love thing and they
Yeah.
can't break free from it.
This very like abusive, toxic, you know, love. She's kind of got Stockholm
Yeah,
syndrome in a
Aaron, it
way.
wasn't really that extreme, but
Yeah.
yeah.
But then we're not. Let's get to the like next sort of big topic with this plot twist with Dina, and how Aaron controlled her to kind of eat his own mother. Like,
Kind of though. I think
yeah,
in the future he sees Armin dying, right? And there's no Bertolt to eat him. So I think he just like extended Bertolt's life for that purpose of him being eaten, right? But as a consequence, his mum accidentally gets eaten for it. Like he didn't choose it because he could see him like getting sad about it, right?
yeah. There's a shot where
And
he's
then
like
Armin,
saying that day, like when Bertolt broke down the walls. I think he controlled Dina because Dina was gonna go for Bertolt.
no,
But
yeah,
then,
he
yeah,
moved him away from Bertolt's path, right? But he didn't
yeah,
like move him to his mum's path, right?
yeah.
That's just as a consequence.
But then you have Armin's sort of face like looking really horrified. So I'm guessing that Aaron did actually sort of like manipulate Dina to go after his mother in a way. So
No, it was like no, it was an accident. It was
I don't know. I don't think
he
so
did not do
because
that on purpose.
that's how I've interpreted it. Like you know, he said this one.
Because look, he looks sad, and then Armin grabs his hand. Here,
He says
look at
the one.
the panel before that.
Yeah,
Oh,
he does say
yes.
the one who let him go, the one who let Bertolt go and make Dina go that way was, and then you have Armin's reaction. So he's saying that he did kind of control Dina to go there. Like he made her go that way, you know. That's what it's sort of saying.
We don't see Aaron's eyes in that shot.
Yeah. Because I think he does have like some sort of regret, but he knows that if he didn't do that, then he would have no like reason to join the scouts in a way, you know. And then
But I thought his plan was always to join the scouts, right? Even when she was alive or whatever.
yeah, but I don't think he would have had that much
I
determination
don't know.
because do you remember the
It's
bit?
ambiguous, to be honest with you.
Do you remember the
It's
scene?
ambiguous.
Do you remember the scene in season one, the final episode of season one, when Aaron's kind of like hesitant about killing Annie, and then Armin's saying that to defeat the monsters, we must first abandon our humanity. Then he has a flashback to when his mom was killed, and then he starts getting angry, and then he starts going rage merge towards Annie. Then he's like saying, "I'm going to destroy everything. I'll destroy the world." It was when he
Yeah.
flashed back to Dina killing his mom that's what gave him his strength in a way. It was his anger.
So look in the panel, right, where we don't see his eyes, but you see Aaron speaking about what he did with Dina,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Armin looks shocked, so he grabs Aaron's hand, right?
yeah,
And then Aaron just looks sad here.
yeah.
He looks defeated, and then he's like, yeah. So I don't know. I don't know if he did it on purpose or it's like as a consequence of him like extending Bertolt's life or whatever.
Because he could have just like, you know, he didn't have to make Dina go that way. He could have just, you know, she could have eaten Bertolt and she would have reverted back to human, and then the whole story would have been very different.
Very different. Yeah.
Very different. I would have loved.
Aaron probably would never have got his powers.
I
So
would
it
love,
is weird.
yeah, I would love to see Isayama like make a one-off shoot manga of like what would have happened if that would have happened. Like,
I don't know. He could have like one of his editors do that, but I think he's
yeah,
knackered.
nah, I think
He
he's
is.
done. He's
He
gonna
is
take the money
tired.
he's made and
But
just run off.
scroll up to where he talks about wiping out 80%.
80%. What bit is that essentially? 80%, 80%, 80%.
Let me find it. The rumbling will kill eight. So this is before the rumbling, right? Like this conversation with Armin. Well, no, this was when he was on the. Wait, when was this
This
conversation
was
happen?
literally after Eren activated the Titans in the wars, and this is when the rumbling was happening.
So
It was before,
basically
yeah,
he's saying that the rumbling will only kill 80%, and he knows that because he's seen the future,
yeah,
and they won't be able to wage war. And then Armin saying, "Did you really need to go this far for our sake, whatever?"
yeah,
So the answer is yes,
hmm
obviously, because
yeah,
it was the only way to save them
yeah, pretty much.
from being invaded or whatever, which
It
is
just
dark.
it just really sucks. Like it is a dark, like like wow,
Like how
because
like it's one of those questions of like how much do you value these people's lives? Like 1 million deaths, 10 million deaths.
that's yeah. Because there's a lot of people on like online saying that Aaron ended up being like a softie, but I'm like, no, he didn't. Like a softie is saving people, even those who did bad things to you. But Aaron,
I
he
think his
killed
character's
innocent.
changed at all. I think the only time where it changed is when he went into that edge lord mode.
No, that was all like an act.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
that's the thing. Like Eren was always like this though.
hmm
Like what we're
Yeah.
seeing now in the final chapter, he was always
He
like
was always
this.
like that. Yeah. And him like being that edge lord, it was just an act, like a facade.
So people saying like him turning into a softie, like that doesn't make any sense because he
Yeah, he was always like
in the
that.
way he was always like that.
Look at the
So he
previous
didn't
three
turn into
seasons.
that.
He
Yep.
didn't turn into that. I mean, he did kind of like, you know, like, yeah, I do agree actually, because he did kind of change because knowing the future and like knowing what he's gonna do, like it did put a toll on him in a way. But
Like
he was
when he turned into
still,
that edge lord mode, it
yeah,
helped him push people he cared about away from him and the people that he hated closer to him
yeah.
to achieve his
I
goals.
think the only time when he was edgelord and he was being genuine was when he kind of shouted at Hanji in the jail cell, because he was definitely looking desperate in that scene. When he was like shouting at Hanji, do you have any other options? Then tell me.
Yeah.
That was the only time I think he was being himself. He kind of let himself slip.
Because what he did was fucked up though.
Yeah,
80%.
eighty
Like he
percent.
didn't want to do that. Is
Like
there any
that's
other way?
yeah. It's kind of the equivalent of
Because like
killing.
at that point,
Yeah.
it's like 80% or all of us die. 80% or all of us die.
Yeah. I mean,
It's it's fucked.
yeah. Like, I mean, it's like what whose lives do you value more? Do you value like a couple, like 1 million Eldians on Paradise Island, or do you value billions of lives? you know, like.
Yeah.
I mean, Aaron wasn't going to do that, so he wouldn't have been guilty, like he wouldn't have felt guilty, like when Marley came in and all that. But I don't know, it's sad.
It's like the most depressing love story. The most depressing, confusing love story.
I think people just
Because
thought it was going to be
at the end
more,
of the day, it was all down to Mikasa's choice or whatever.
yeah. And because of that, I do like the chapter a bit more, because after I've read the official release, like, I guess when I first read it, I wasn't expecting like Reiner and Jean and Connie to still survive and live. I just thought, I don't know. I thought like the Alliance, like most of them would be killed off in a way, and seeing Gabby and Falco like
In a way, they were
reunite,
though. They were killed off, and then they're back
then
to
they
life
kind of,
again.
yeah, they're brought back.
Which makes sense if the whole goal was to like evaporate the Titans from
And he did
existence.
do that, yeah.
So I'm fine with that, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I did like the ending. It was bittersweet because think about it, like Connie, Jean, Reiner have to like live with the fact that their friend Aaron murdered millions and billions of like people, and that's gonna haunt them
Yeah,
every day. You know, like
I,
that's
kind
kind
of
of like that's
because
kind of a punishment. You
if
know,
no, I think if Aaron kept because Aaron may have had a decision to keep himself alive or not, right?
yeah, he could have lived,
And
but he
even he's
knew.
like, I did something so fucked up. How can I ever live on?
Yeah.
So him like suiciding, it's like
Hmm.
it's harsh because like
Yeah.
he did something that he didn't want to do,
Hmm.
and then he's like, I'm gonna have to like you know kill myself for it.
Mm. Yeah, I
And
did like
then
yeah.
what hurts the most
Hmm.
is his feelings for Thingy.
Mikasa.
His true feelings comes out,
Hmm.
and like, damn,
Not gonna
that
lie,
kind of
it
fucking
kind of came
sucks.
out of left field when he kind of was screaming about Mikasa. I was like, wait, what?
That yeah, that
Because
whole panel is weird of him
yeah,
screaming.
it because in the entire series he's kind of been a bit annoyed with Mikasa, like always shouting at her, and
But that's the Aaron we know, though.
yeah,
That's this is who we know
hmm
from like the first three seasons. This is how he acts.
but I just never seen any like sort of like feelings towards Mikasa. Maybe he's just kind of kept it deep down, you know? Because I kind of thought more of
No,
like
well,
a
I mean, read the whole conversation.
mm,
Like, it's like a sucky situation to be in.
yeah, and it's just wow, you know. It does kind of suck. This is how Aaron ends, you know. Like it's kind of tragic, you know.
Yeah, he's like, I'm sure none of them wanted to die either, like the 80%. But then he's like, but how could I ever be forgiven?
Hmm.
And then you see like the whole like the panel of the footsteps or whatever.
Yeah, like that big spread
Like
panel, you know.
those
Like
things.
damn.
Yeah. Even if I didn't know that you would stop me in the end, I think I still would have flattened this world.
Yeah.
Yikes.
So basically, he's saying that even if they didn't stop him, or even if you think they wouldn't have stopped him, he would have still gone on.
Yeah.
But because
But yeah,
he, yeah,
but he did know he was going to stop him though.
yeah, I think he would have continued either way, you know. But because they stopped him, then you know he was like, oh well.
That's what he's saying in it. If he didn't know that Mikasa, Arm, and everyone was going to stop him,
Hmm.
he would have just
Yeah.
flattened out everything, which is
Hmm.
fucked.
Yeah. I mean, I actually do understand Aaron in this, but it is kind of strange that like a lot of people online like saying that this is like a terrible way to end Aaron. This is a character assassination. This is like the worst character like final
Oh,
moment
and then
since
here,
Danny. You know.
when Armin's saying why, like why would you want to do that? Why would you want to wipe out everyone?
Hmm.
He says, I don't know why, but I wanted to do that.
Yeah.
I had to because it was freedom.
Hmm. And then you have
Whoever
to.
takes away my
Yeah.
freedom deserves death. Remember
Hmm.
that?
Yeah. It was when he was talking to Zeke saying that.
And then his like at that moment, his goals changed to where he didn't want to like wipe everyone out because he knew in the end he would have been stopped by Mikasa and Armin.
Yeah.
So that kind of explained his edgelord path, I
Hmm.
guess.
I guess so. I guess so. I did think he did want to do it, but he still regrets doing it, but he does want to do it. He's kind of like he wants to do it, but then he feels bad for doing it in a way.
He's a
It's like
confused character.
it's like when you
So,
want
but
to yeah.
this is how I get it, right?
Hmm.
He, no matter what, he was going to wipe out all of humanity, right, for
Yeah.
his freedom or
Hmm.
whatever, for
Yep.
Paradise's freedom. That's what he was going to do.
Yeah.
And then, for some reason, he saw that Mikasa and Armin and everyone was going to stop him. And
Yeah.
then he was okay with that or some shit.
Yeah.
Which still doesn't make any sense, but I'll go with it. I just. Because he says, I don't know why, but I want. Whatever.
No, I understand Aaron in this scene. You know, he says he doesn't know why he wanted to do the rumbling, but he wanted to. You know,
Yeah. I
like
think it goes back to that line of if you take away my freedom, I something like he
He
wouldn't like
says,
he wouldn't be afraid to take away theirs, or something
yeah,
like that.
if anyone takes away my freedom, I
Wouldn't
won't hesitate
hesitate
to
to stop.
take their freedom, you know.
To,
And then he says,
yeah.
I've been like this since birth. And then Zeke's like, since birth? And then you see the shot of Zeke looking at baby Aaron screaming at his father. And when he was a kid, killing those two burglars, you know.
Then that makes sense to why in this panel we see baby Aaron here holding like he's being
Yeah,
held by Grisha. If it was
yeah.
at birth, then we see him literally there's a baby. Aaron, you are free.
Mm-hmm. I guess those words kind of were ingrained in his brain since birth, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
So I think those must have been his first words like he ever heard. So he must have been like, I don't know. Guess the power. I don't know, but I get it.
But it's such a weird dilemma to be in because like Armin's like, you became a mass murderer for our sake.
Yeah.
It's just so weird. It's so weird.
But overall, I don't think this ending kind of ruins the show. It still fits.
It's not
with the
bad,
themes.
bro. It's
Yeah.
not. It's like a 7 out of 10 easily, but or 8 out of 10 or something. But it's not like 2 out of 10, 1 out. It's
Oh gosh, some of these
people just
yeah.
want that edgelord Aaron. That's
Yeah.
it. You just want Aaron to wipe out everyone or whatever bullshit.
Mm-hmm. I've seen like
You just need a little thinking.
Mm-hmm.
And then but when you say that to these people bring up the panel of him and Grisha.
Yeah.
When adult Aaron and Grisha.
Mm-hmm.
But that makes sense as well, to be honest with you, because Aaron needed Grisha to do that to get
Yeah.
the founding titan.
He had to
or whatever.
push
He
him.
needed to push him. But I guess there is like a sort of plot hole in there because Grisha did say to Zeke, "You have to stop him," right?
Yeah.
And then the question is, why did Grisha allow him to get eaten by Aaron?
Wait, what do you mean by that? So
in the panel, I don't know what chapter it was,
it
but
was
you know
chapter
when
121. Yeah.
So when Grisha finally sees the future Aaron of what Aaron is about to do, which is the 80% rumbling or whatever,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
he says to Zeke, "Stop Aaron," right?
Yeah.
And this was before Grisha is eaten by Aaron.
Yeah.
And the question is, why did Grisha turn himself into Aaron? Why did he feed himself to Aaron?
Oh, I get it. So you're saying, why, if he didn't want Aaron to do this and he wanted Zeke to stop him, why did he continue doing this?
Yeah, why did he just literally turn Aaron into a titan and get?
I think I know why. I
himself to
think
him.
because baby Aaron's in the past and he's talking to the future Zeke. So I'm guessing Grisha thought that if he told Zeke then and there, he might be able to stop Aaron in the future. But because
but Grisha could have stopped him there and then
yeah,
by
I
not
know.
giving him what he wanted. So that's like a little plot hole, but I'm not really too bothered by it, to be honest.
I get it. I get it. I mean, I don't think it's a plot hole. I just think it's more or less like, I think Grisha.
Why
was
did
just,
Grisha do it? Like, why did Grisha feed himself?
I think he was
like,
kind of
what changed
thinking.
his mind?
He was thinking about
Or was
the
it in the
owl,
past?
you
Was he
know.
talking to Zeke in the past? What is this?
I think he was talking to. I think he did that because of the owl, like Kruger, because he did say that he needs to like, harness the power of the attack Titan, steal the royal family's Titan powers. If he didn't give Aaron his power, then who would the founding Titan go to? It might go to a random Eldian, and then. Like, no one has the founder, no one knows where it is. I think that's why he still gave the power to Aaron, because he was like, I'm going to die in like a year's time. My power might be passed on to a random baby. No one has the founder. And Marley will come and destroy Paradise Island. And then no one has any way to kind of, defend themselves. So I think Grisha was hoping for a different future, but still with Aaron having the founder in a way, That's how I saw it. I didn't see it as a plot hole.
I think, but that's explained though. He doesn't say that. He doesn't say that at all. He just says that you must stop Aaron because everything will go his way, right? That's what he says.
Mm-hmm.
He says, no matter what happens, everything will go his way now, or something
Mm.
like that. But if you knew that, why don't you stop him then and there?
That is true, because if
Like,
you
you're
stop
in
baby
control of
Aaron,
everything now. You have
then
the founding titan. You have the attack titan.
but if he did
You
that,
could
then the
just die
future
with
would
it.
be very
I
different,
don't
you know.
know.
It might have been a lot darker than what we would have gotten, you know. Because Grisha
I
did
don't know.
see, yeah.
Or that whole conversation happened after he was eaten, and it was happening in the paths.
Mm, that is true. That is true.
Oh, I don't think Reddit is a good place to be right now because they're
Yeah.
like they are so mold. They're so angry right now. You know, my favorite panel, like the most like heartbreaking one, was
Hmm.
like just like the last five ones. And then you see like a panel of Mikasa near that tree, the same tree, and then you just see like a whole field past him.
Yeah.
You see like Paradise Island without the
Honestly,
walls.
reading at some of these Reddit things, I still think it's down to the founding Titan because Grisha just came back eating the royal family's founding Titan. I
Wait, who
mean,
you
who?
reading that to? What?
Like, I'm just saying it myself because you gotta see it in this light. Like when the Kruger tells Grisha to take the royal family's Titan power and for him to
Yep.
sort of like master it, like who does Grisha trust in this moment? Like, does he trust like a random stranger with the founder or his son? Like, I mean,
There
like,
is nothing Grisha could do
yeah,
at that moment in time.
because like the
But
walls
I
have been
think
breached.
see,
Yeah.
this is what I thought, and I could be very wrong about this, but I thought as soon as Grisha killed those people, he
Yeah.
fed himself straight away to Eren. That's what I thought.
But then
Like
we
as soon as he
see
killed the family,
he confronts
but
Zeke,
that
you know.
didn't happen because he kept it with him, right?
Because he killed the royal family, then he still had the founding Titan, and then he confronted Zeke, and then he went to look for Aaron, and then he fed himself to Aaron.
Yeah, it's weird.
It's not weird. Like I actually understand it. Like it does make sense,
No,
you know.
but no, but I like okay, 80% of people are gonna die. Would you
Yeah,
still go ahead with it?
yeah. I think he did that because like he was kind of like in this like you know dilemma. Like he has the founding Titan's power, but he only has like a couple of months to live because he's had that power for years. So, I mean, what does he do in that moment? Does he just die and then that power goes to a random baby? And then what would happen after that? Marley would be invaded. Aaron will probably be killed because he has no power to defend himself with. And, you know, Marley pretty much wins. Paradise Island is slaughtered, you know? Like, you kind of have to see it from
Yeah.
that side as well, you know? Like, I think Risha did that because maybe in the
No,
world
but
that,
that's the thing. That we're all just
yeah.
speculating right now.
I
We're
think
just speculating,
if you
which hurts.
remember, after Zeke finds the truth about Aaron's plan, you know, when they're in the paths, this is before Aaron has the power of Ymira and he has to run and chase her, you know, and then
Yeah.
that's when he hugs her. I think
This is in
Zeke
the
was,
same panel, wasn't it?
yeah, I think Zeke was hoping that maybe
This is the
something,
same chapter, sorry.
yes, I think Zeke was hoping that Aaron would fail in getting Ymira because even though Grisha saw it, he thought maybe he could kind of like convince Ymira to stop him. Because if you remember in the next chapter, Zeke is screaming to Ymira to
Mm.
like not give Aaron the power. If you remember,
Yeah.
he's like saying,
This
Ymira,
is
don't do that. Yeah. So
this
in a
is
way,
no, I think you make sense.
yeah, it does make sense. Like,
This is
yeah.
this is another problem I've kind of find as well because the whole theme is about breaking the cycle, right?
Hmm.
Of Attack on Titan. Like
Yeah.
you have to break, like stop history from repeating itself.
Yeah. Yeah.
What history? What are we talking about here?
Yeah. The cycle of hatred.
What is Eren trying to break? But what we didn't see that at the end of this chapter, bro. They're still
I think
like the
no,
Jaeger
no,
is
no.
still like beefing themselves up.
Actually, I think he's mainly talking about like
Conflict still
the
happens.
history with the Eldians and the rest of the world. Like he wanted that sort of like, you know, for them being
Okay,
oppressed
listen.
and all
If
that.
history was listen. If history was to be broken, right,
Hmm.
they should have just sat back and let the United Allies invade Paradise Island.
Mm.
Then history would have ended right there.
Yeah, like they would have,
History would have
the
stopped repeating
Eldians would
itself.
have killed. Yeah.
Like then done and dusted. Like that the history right there just won't repeat itself. if that happened.
But Aaron didn't want that. He wanted Eldians to live.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't understand that theme of, if with the owl speaking to Grisha, that if you want history to stop repeating itself, you must save Mikasa and Armin, or something like that.
Yeah. I think
Which that doesn't make any sense now.
what the whole owl saying to protect Mikasa and Armin.
No,
think-
the whole line of if you want history to stop repeating itself.
I think he was just talking about like the oppression of Eldians, that
Hey,
history.
Eldians would be fucking dead.
I think.
Oh,
think
probably. If
I
it's
think what
about
the owl-
Eldians, then
I
if
think
it's
what
about
the-
the oppression
yeah.
of Eldians, then
That's what he was talking
that
about.
makes sense.
Yeah, because I think Aaron knows that humans will always
But-
bicker
but-
about anything.
But Eldians have never had a history of being oppressed. This is just recent times.
That's what Kruger
When
was
they lost
talking
the
about,
war.
like the oppression,
So what history are they
the
talking
history.
about? Then?
Because I mean, I think he's just talking about like oppression of like one race kind of dominating the other, because it starts off with Eldians like conquering Mali and like forcing them for 1,000 years, and then
Yeah,
once
but
the
let's be
Titan
real.
War happens,
Let's be real. Like in 1,000 years' time, in the Attack on Titan universe, there's going to be another race that's going to be oppressed by something. That's not going to stop.
I think
There's
it was
always
just
going to be conflict.
no. I think he was talking about like one race having. I think he was talking about one race having like this like demon godlike power or whatnot, and like oppressing another nation, and
Then
then
they should have just let the United, because everyone sees Paradise Island as the devil, right?
yeah.
Except the United Allies. Mm-hmm. They should have just went through with it.
No, I think I get it more, because I was talking about like one group of people have this like power while the others are defenseless, and then it is kind of flipped where that group of people are kind of like tormenting the people with the power, and it's kind of like this sort of like discrimination against like one on the top, one on the bottom. But now that everyone's sort of even, like they're all humans just fighting against humans, it's okay in a way. Like Aaron's sort of like, they can sort it out themselves.
But then what does Mikasa and Armin have to do with it then? Because that was like the whole line, right? If you want history, I need to watch it. 1 second. Let me.
I don't know, man. Like you might be misinterpreting it.
No, it's literally right here, bro. I ain't misinterpreting anything, man. This is what Wit Studio gave us. Here it says, if you can't do that, history will only repeat itself. Then what history is he talking about, bro?
I think he's talking about the Malians just oppressing the Eldians, to be honest with you. Like
That's only recent time. No, that's not even history.
That is
like,
sort of, because that's 100
history
years.
is like 100 years ago, 200 years ago.
Yeah.
300. That's history. That's history. This is like within 50 years.
No, it's still history. Like, look at today's history. Like,
No,
we
it's not,
talk
bro.
about stuff from the 60s, and that's like 50
like
years ago.
50 years is nothing compared to like history.
I think you're just talking about like, I get what you're talking about.
And then
but
it says the same mistake. Look, history will only repeat itself, and the same mistakes will be made over and over again. It's if he's talking about
I think he
Malians
is
oppressing the
talking.
Eldians,
Yeah,
then
he
what?
is. He is talking about
Then
that.
what mistakes will be made over and over again?
Like Marlene's oppressing Eldians, like if Grisha
And that's
does
a mistake on whose side? Who's making the mistake then?
Marley.
Pull up episode
Yeah,
whatever.
I've seen it. Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, I've seen the episode. Yeah,
But but it still doesn't make any sense then with what we got for the ending or whatever.
you know what? We could just. It can be mysterious, who knows? Like, who knows what it is? Maybe it was just sort of like.
So then he goes on. Okay, let me read the whole thing. What he just said, right?
Yeah.
Word for word. If you can't do that, history will only repeat itself. The same mistakes will be made over and over. If you want to save Mikasa and Armin and everyone else, you must complete your mission. And he's like, Mikasa, Armin, who are you talking
I
about?
know. Yeah.
So obviously this is speaking to Eren.
Yeah.
This is like
This is like
future
Aaron's
memory
memories.
speaking
Yeah.
to Eren. This is like Eren speaking to Eren basically through Grisha and Owl.
Yeah.
But then what history is he talking about, bro, what are you talking about?
I still think he's talking about Mali, like just oppression and all that. That's literally like when I first watched that scene. That's what I thought. Like history of
But
Mali.
but that doesn't end though. That conflict doesn't end.
Yeah, that's why he's saying it will keep happening over and over again because
So did
the.
Eren fail then?
I mean, he did stop Mali from conquering Eldians because he succeeded. He stopped the Titan powers. Like
But
he wasn't
okay,
talking
no,
about.
listen. It's history repeating itself over and over again. What is that? What in Attack on Titan history has happened repeatedly?
I just still think he's talking about the Eldians being oppressed by Mali because
It
that's.
isn't, bro. Come on. If it's about the Eldians, that's not something that's happened repeatedly. Come on now. Unless you're talking about the Eldians using their Titan powers to oppress others, then that makes sense because that's what happened throughout history.
Okay.
But if you're talking about Marley oppressing Eldians, that's a one-time thing that's happened. That's like a recent memory, not something that happened over and over again. If you know what I mean.
Yeah. Hmm. Yeah, I get it. I get it. I guess it is confusing. I don't know.
So this is Eren speaking to Eren, basically, right?
Yeah. I don't know.
Future Eren sending a message to Eren kissing Historia's hand, and Eren's receiving this information.
Yeah.
So what history? What?
Yeah.
Unless Isayama's planning on to make another manga series or whatever.
I don't know, dude. I don't know. Like, that's just my interpretation. I don't know. I really don't know. I might have to do like a
Fair
full
enough.
on research.
Because like the only history that's ever been mentioned is about like the Eldians oppressing others with their Titan power.
Yeah.
That's the only sort of history we ever get in this show.
I think that might just be it. I think you just answered it. Like, I think he's talking about one power pressing the other, and Aaron's just wiped
If
out
that
that
was the case,
power.
he should have just let Eldia like, because you know the King in the Wall,
Yeah.
his all he wanted to do was get invaded by the United Allies and then let it be done and dusted, right? He wouldn't have retaliated.
Yeah.
He would let his people die,
Yeah.
and that would let history end. That would let history stop repeating itself.
Yeah.
But instead, Eren just wipes out everyone, 80%, and then sort of history kind of would repeat itself, but they can't because they don't have enough men or firepower. It's kind of confusing. It's really confusing though.
Because I'm guessing because the owl did tell Gracious to steal the founding Titan's power, so the king doesn't do that. I think the owl wanted something a bit more different to what Aaron wanted. I just think he wanted Gracious to just take the founding Titan's power and then like maybe harness it and just, I don't know. I don't think the owl knew too much, because he did say to Gracious that he's still a child looking through a cupboard door in a way.
Yeah.
But I think the moment when he talks about Mikasa and Armin, I think that's when he kind of stops being the owl and becomes Eren Yeager at that moment. And then he kind of snaps out of it saying, why did I say those names? Who are they?
Oh,
That's what
could
I
be.
think. Yeah. That's what I think.
But there is kind of a theme in the show where that statement is repeated, where you have to like history will repeat itself. Because I think Taiba mentioned it as well, didn't he?
Yeah. In the speech.
History repeating itself or something. I
Yeah,
could be wrong about that, I'm sure, but he made it.
I think he's
I'm
just
sure
talking
he said
about
something like that as
because
well, which
even
on his behalf makes more sense because there is a history of Eldians oppressing others with the Titan powers.
yeah, and he does say that he regrets being born. He hates being an Eldian. And I
Yeah.
think that's why he's saying
So
that he
just
wants to
so it
take
doesn't
down
make sense when
Paradise
Owl
Island.
says it because Owl. It doesn't make sense when the Owl says it.
I just think he's talking about, I I think he's talking about the whole like oppression with Eldians taking over Mali and Mali taking over Eldians. I think he just wants it to end. Like I think he wanted another way, maybe for Grisha to like control the founder's power, and maybe like, if Mali invades, I don't know, dude. I think maybe he just needed that power to sort of like Maybe he wanted the powers to be removed
So
or
yeah, you gotta
something like
think of it.
that.
You
You know.
gotta think of it like this. Eldia has been getting constant W's against
Yeah.
the entire world. Constant W's throughout
Yeah.
history. They were just getting W's, W's, W's.
Yeah.
And only recently, within the last 50 years,
Yeah.
they take a huge L.
Yeah.
And that's only happened once in the history. So I don't know what you mean by over and over again. History repeats
I think
itself
he is
over and
talking
over again.
about Eldians like controlling Mali because that happened for 1,000 years, so that makes sense. So I think he's talking
No,
about
wait,
he wants
thousands
to.
of years
Yeah, it was 1,500 years it's been happening when.
of Eldian taking
Yeah,
W's,
yeah,
right?
yeah, taking
But it's
W's.
only been the last 50
Yeah,
years.
yeah, I get
50,
that.
50
Yeah, I
years.
think that's what the owl was talking about. The wins for Eldia. Like he
So
wanted
he
that
wants
to
that to
end.
stop. He
I
wants to
think he
stop
wants
Eldia
that
from
to
winning.
end. Yeah, but I think he wanted
So
like.
he should have just the owl shouldn't have helped Grisha and just let the King of the Wall do nothing and get
I don't know, man. I don't know.
attacked.
Like that's just my theory, you know.
It don't make sense, bro.
Yeah,
Like the hit, yeah. Because of what we got, this line doesn't make sense now.
yeah, I get what you mean. I might have to do more research into
Because
the owl.
the owl said it himself that the King of the Wall does nothing and he was like planning on getting invaded or whatever. I swear the owl says that.
Yeah,
But all of these are kind of like nitpicking, to be honest with you. It's not really that important.
yeah. I mean, the show is kind of confusing, you know, sometimes. So it is what it is.
Yeah. I just want to see what like Isayama's like whole like. Do you know when Zack Snyder does like a breakdown of his movies?
Yeah.
I want Isayama to do that with Attack on Titan or some shit.
Hmm.
But the ending is no way bad like of how like people are making it out to be.
Yeah, people are
Like there's no
overreacting.
way.
It's just typical
It's like just
fans
too much overreaction.
whining. It's the same with the whole Marpa situation, you know, like people complaining when it's just not that bad, you know.
I think the Mappa situation. I think because it's what 8 months to work on the series. That's they had their own like problems. But this is like because they really wanted Eren to be that edgelord. They really wanted him to be that supremacist that
But
he was.
he wasn't that from the beginning. He was always that, you know, just that
He was a
whiny
child. Eren
kid,
is
you know.
basically a child.
Like
Yeah.
when he said that he's finally seen freedom, he's in that child form when he's like waving his hands in like the sky
Yeah.
in chapter 131. He's just a child, you know. Like
Yeah.
I think he's just
I
kind
need
of
to read that chapter. I think
Yeah.
that chapter for 131 keeps getting brought up again. I need to like reread that.
Hmm.
Or do you know what Google Parasite Jaeger? Have you heard of that?
Parasite Jaeger. Oh, I get it. I get it. The bird.
And then I think type in location next to it. Wait, Paradise Jaeger habitat.
Habitat.
No, I can't find it. But basically, where it resides is in Paradise Island.
I get it. I guess that's where Isayama got that inspiration from for the bird.
Yeah, yeah. And also Google 139 number meaning.
Yeah, I've seen that. It's talking about an angel or something like that. I saw that online. Yeah.
Yeah, what about 140?
140 meaning expression of freedom and self-realizance. Oh, I get it.
Why people have their hopes up.
Oh
Like,
my gosh.
Yeah.
Nah, it says final chapter, you know, it's done.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but how many people have said final chapter and then they get like a epilogue or prologue or whatever it's called? The thing after the ending.
Epilogue.
I think what people want deep down is like these are fake memories that Eren has implanted. That then Eren does his own shit.
Yeah, that could be it.
I think that's everyone wants a Chad Eren. That's what everyone wants. Not everyone. I don't want that. It's too edgelord for me.
You know when you
Too
type in,
edgy. It's way too edgy.
when you type in Parasitic Jaeger, the bird, any video with it
Yeah.
has Attack on Titan memes. Like in the comments. Talking about Isayama, thank you Eren for wrapping the scarf
Oh, that's
around me.
funny.
Oh gosh. But yeah, overall, I don't think this ending ruins the show. I think it's bittersweet. I
You
was
know, when I
satisfied.
read the final chapter,
Hmm.
I was very confused by it. To be honest with you, there's things going over my head. I was satisfied with it, but I didn't understand why I was satisfied.
Mm.
Like, yeah, that's why I wasn't ready to do like it, like talk down, sit, like do the review or whatever. But now, after sort of talking it out, I kind of it does make sense. I understand why I like it now.
I just like the stuff with
So
Armin
yeah,
and Aaron. I wasn't really digging the whole everything after that. I didn't enjoy it. Like I didn't enjoy reading it. Like
why? Bittersweet.
I just thought I wanted more Historia.
Huh?
I want to see more Historia in the story in the end.
Oh,
Yeah.
she's yeah. That's another thing, right? Aaron constantly keeps saying that he can't put Historia through with it. Do you remember that line? He
Yeah.
says, I can't keep for like what does that even mean? What
Mm.
does that mean? What does
I think
what
he
does that
wanted
even mean?
he wanted his story to kind of like not go along with Zeke's plan. Like he wanted her to do her own thing. Like what
No,
Ymira.
but he's saying no, but the way he says it is like he's forcing her to do something that she doesn't like.
When does he force her to do what? When does
No, no. Every time like Aaron mentions Historia,
Yeah.
like last chapter or whatever, when he's
Yeah.
speaking to Mikasa, he's like he couldn't put Mikasa through with it or something like that. He couldn't put Mikasa through it all or something.
Yeah.
It's like it sounds like he was like forcing her to do something, and I don't understand what.
I mean, he did tell her he was going to do the
And
rumbling.
I thought,
You know.
yeah, but she doesn't have the power to do that. He needs Zeke.
That's
Does he?
true.
Does he not? So I don't. So yeah, I don't understand that. I never understood it, to be honest with you. I didn't know
Yeah.
what he meant. What is he? Because it
Also,
happens throughout the entire like show.
yeah, I get it. But also, what happened to Liena?
It's just like more unexplained answers.
There's no Liena in the end. There's no Yonkapon. There's
I thought because I think that the show confirms that she's a lesbian, right?
yeah, I think so.
With Ymir, and I thought he probably impregnated her or something. Does something that she doesn't want or something. Because that would make more sense. Like she has to carry his child or
No,
some shit.
I think she did what she wanted to do because um, it looked
To get
like
married to that farmer,
yeah.
that nameless
I
farmer.
think that's what. I think that was her choice. We'll never know.
But what did Aaron want to do with her?
Was it Aaron? What?
What did Aaron want to do with her then?
Nothing.
But he says it like constantly throughout the series. Like he doesn't want to put her through with it.
Yeah, with the plan to make her a beast tie-in and for her to bear children, and for her children to be sacrifices to other, to like the
Oh,
whole.
is that
That's
what
what
you
he.
mean?
Yeah, that's what he's talking
Oh,
about. Yeah,
ah,
but
okay,
now that the Titans are gone, she doesn't have to bear it. She's free now.
ah, okay,
That's what he meant. Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
That makes sense.
Can't wait to see
Yeah,
this.
it's just Aaron is so weird. That's my only problem with the time skip with Aaron. He's so vague. You just don't know what he's gonna say. It's so. I want to shake him down. Like what the. Spit
He
it out,
did.
boy.
He did say
Spit it
that.
out.
I think he did say that he didn't know, like the past and the future memories were
Yeah,
warping his mind.
and that just it's that does come down to bad writing. To be honest with you, when you can't explain what you want, because it just
I don't
makes
know.
your readers go haywire.
It does make sense in terms of Aaron because Aaron doesn't really know, what to do,
Yeah,
but
I
to
know. That's what I
fight.
mean. It's bad writing because you can't. It doesn't explain it.
I suppose so.
Well, it's more like a cheap out. It's a cheap out.
Yeah, I get it. I guess
Rather than giving
people.
an explanation, you're like giving your easy way out for a character or whatever.
I get it. I get
If
it.
that makes sense.
I guess
Because
it
it's
is what
easier
it
to
is.
make Aaron say he doesn't know what's happening than rather explain it, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, I get
You
it. I
gave him
get
the
it.
easy way out.
Yeah, it does make
Yeah.
sense. But overall, I've enjoyed the series. Like it's been a fun ride.
Yeah,
th-
like huge highs, like few lows.
I think for me, like, I wasn't really a fan of like the only arc I didn't like was the Uprising arc. That was it, and
Is
parts
that
of
is
yeah,
that
the
the
Historia
Historia one?
arc. Yeah, that was
Yeah.
we needed the arc, but it was kind of a drag to read and watch.
I think what I appreciate of Attack on Titan, everything that's happened, right?
Hmm.
Post time skip still needed to happen.
Yeah,
Like even if you hate the ending, it still makes sense of what Eren did.
yeah,
Like Eren still needed to do that, Eren still needed to do this, Eren still needed to do that. This and that. He still needed to do all of that to get where he is now.
yeah,
I think that still makes sense.
yeah. It does. Yeah, I get it.
But I think what people are pissed about is his Chad persona,
Yeah, but it was
the
never that
edgelord
to
vibes
begin
or
with.
whatever. You,
It was
yeah, I don't think he was ever that.
he was just doing that to like
But he needed to put it on though.
yeah, to like inspire the Jaegersters.
Yeah,
They needed a leader,
inspire the extremist
to
or whatever.
push Mikasa and Armin away so that he doesn't have them to like sort of convince him otherwise.
Yep.
Like
It wouldn't be fucked if Armin and Mikasa joined him as a Jaegerist.
I
All of that would have been for nothing.
nah, I don't
So
think
he
it would
needed
have
to
been
push
on.
them away.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
That
isn't that fucked up though? Check this out. You're the writer, right?
mm-hmm.
And you've written a genocidal maniac character, right? And
Yeah.
your fan base is loving that character
Mm.
instead of hating him.
Yeah, anime fans are weird.
Yeah.
That's
Let's
what
commit war crimes. Let's commit genocide. Yeah. It's
this is
so
why
weird.
I'm a casual fan. Like I don't get into the
Yeah.
hype. I don't go to the conventions. I just watch it for it. I treat it like any ordinary TV show or movie.
But like, if you root for a character that's committing genocide, and then you're upset that he doesn't do it all, like fully, then
You're
don't
messed
get
up.
upset.
Mm.
You're messed up.
I think it's just
basically.
literally, those people's opinions. They just want to see the world burn, like the Joker.
Yeah.
I mean,
But Aaron still needed to go through with it
Mhm.
just to save the people he loved.
yeah. I mean, yeah, it is kind
Which
of,
is fucked up. Which is still fucked up.
Mhm.
Which is still fucked up.
yeah.
But
I just
yeah, it's like if you wipe, because he could easily wipe away the Titans, right?
easily, yeah,
But then his people would die.
Yeah.
Instantly they would have been invaded like that. It's just such a hard position to be in.
yeah. I just think Aaron should have just told them to in the beginning. Like he should have just told Mikasa Armin that he's doing this. But I think they would have stopped him. Like
They would have stopped him
they
either
would have
way.
stopped him. They would have done like I don't know, like yeah, they would have stopped him. That's why he wanted to be like bad and like say he hates them. Then they wouldn't have a reason to want to help him. But then in the end, that's when like Connie and John are like, oh my gosh, everyone was a good man. Because they hated him before. Even Connie, like he was like he wanted Aaron to be
Yeah,
killed, but then
I think the timeline would have been different if that happened.
yeah. But I do like it. I'm just kind of like stunned. I'm a bit shocked that a lot of people are just very hateful towards Isayama. It's like it's
Yeah,
just
that's
it's
crazy.
just a
I think that
story,
hatred is so crazy, to be honest
It's
with
just
you.
it's
This is weird. This is the hatred seems bigger than Star Wars and Game of Thrones, which is
yeah,
crazy.
it
to
is
me.
kind of extreme now. Like it's not
It's
like
it's
because
like
with Game
Star
of
Wars.
Thrones and Game of Thrones, it's Game of Thrones and Star Wars was kind of like mixed to like negative, but this is like super negative.
Yeah, which I don't
Yeah.
understand why. It's crazy.
I think it's just because it's anime. Like with those, they want anime, they want live action. So I don't know, maybe weebs are just insecure people who have nothing going on in their lives.
Yeah,
It is what it is.
incels basically.
Yeah, the incels. Like
Uh,
they just don't want to do anything about their lives. Some of them are, I've seen some good comments, people like praising Isayama, like saying thank you to him on Twitter.
don't get us wrong. It's not the perfect ending that everyone wanted, right? Which is
Nah.
hard. Ending in like a show like this is hard, right?
I'm not
But
gonna
it's
lie.
nowhere near as bad as Game of Thrones or
Yeah, Game of
whatever.
Thrones was just bad because at least this kind of
But
fit with the story and it wasn't rushed. It felt
Yeah.
Like it worked. Game of Thrones just was like zoom, zoom, zoom. Like yeah, it was too
Like
much.
this, yeah, this ending still works even if you don't like Aaron's character.
Yeah, but even Game of Thrones, I wasn't too mad with the ending. I was just like, oh, it was disappointing, but it is what it is. But
Yeah,
people,
Game of Thrones is already on like a downward
yeah,
spiral, right?
it was
It's
like
like a
after
slow
season
car crash.
5. After season 5, it just kind of,
Yeah,
yeah, I kind
it
of
was
saw
like
it going
dipping.
bad.
It was dipping
Yeah.
hard. Yeah, I have to go. Okay, WhatsApp me ideas, yeah, 'cause I have to go.
All right then, dude. I'll see you then.
Peace out, bro.
See you, dude.
Nice
Bye.
convo as always.
Yeah, it was. Thanks, bye. See you, man.
Yeah. Peace out, bro.
And that's the blind reaction. And tell me in the comments down below what you guys thought about this. Did you like it? Did you hate it? Like this video, subscribe for more anime and manga reactions and reviews. With that said, thank you for watching.